name's Bond. James Bond.
You're a wizard, Harry. I drink your milkshake.
You can't handle the truth. You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Movie Mafia podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Trout. We're back again, the full group together. Carter, Gabby, Max, Lauren, we're all here. The group's all together. Now let's get ready to go for this episode here. All right, guys, how you been doing? What's been going on? We've had a week off, so now we're back. What have you guys been up to?
My cousin's staying with me. This is Lena.
Awesome.
And I think we're going to watch that Loki thing tonight because neither of us saw it yet, and we're really excited.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was actually
Awesome.
rewatching like Thor last night.
Oh, preparing.
Yeah, I
Pre-gaming for Loki.
Wow.
pre-gaming.
You're
Yeah.
going to be ready.
Avengers pregame.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's definitely a great idea. They have a lot of little references to other Thor movies and stuff like that. So I think that'd definitely be a good idea. Get a head start and you'll definitely be ready for it.
We have a lot to talk about today.
Absolutely, absolutely. And with that being said, let's just go right into it, all right? So, as you guys said, Loki, we got episode 1. Oh my God, we're here. We're no longer the WandaVision podcast, no longer the Falcon and the Winter Soldier podcast. We're now the Loki podcast, at least for these next couple of episodes here. So,
The way we like it.
6 weeks.
absolutely.
6 weeks.
Absolutely, that's
And then
true.
the What If podcast right after that. I'm so excited for What If. That show's gonna be so good.
What's
Same
what
here.
if?
It's like an animated Marvel show on Disney Plus, and it's literally just like Marvel, but like what if, like just spins on it. Like there's one where it's like Steve Rogers if he was bitten by the spider that bit Spider-Man, so he becomes like
Oh, that
Spider-Man,
sounds
Captain
so
America.
cool.
There's
Whoa.
what are other ones? There's one where like Thanos is
Carter.
Gamora.
Peggy
What?
Carter's Captain America.
You said animated?
Yeah, Peggy Carter, Captain America. Yeah, it's animated.
Yeah.
And the
Like, what
animation
type of
style looks
style?
really cool. It looks kind of, it's hard to explain. It's like the 2D where it kind of looks 3D, or maybe
Okay.
it's the
Yeah,
3D that kind of looks 2D. It's one of the other, but it looks really cool. I think it's coming out in August. I can't
sounds
wait.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's literally
I
gonna
didn't
be
know that
so
was
good.
thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't
Looking
wait.
forward
I
to it.
can't wait. That's one of the shows that I thought they have so much potential to do, especially since it's animated. You know, you can really go any different way you want. I love live action stuff, but I feel like animation allows you to like tap into this, this region of like, storytelling that live
Yeah.
action is just can be too complicated to do.
I also don't want to I don't want to ramble on about What If for too long, but I also do want to say that all characters in the show are played by their original MCU voice actors. So Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans,
good.
Chadwick Boseman's last performance as T'Challa is actually in the show. It's the
Wow.
last.
Yeah.
He recorded it last year, like literally months before he passed away. It's the last
That's
time
crazy.
he'll be playing T'Challa, so that's gonna be crazy. But
Wow.
I digress. I'll relax.
And he lives on.
Wow.
That's so exciting. That's gonna be such a good show.
Yup.
Without a doubt. That blows me away. I totally had no idea that's actually Chadwick Boseman's last performance. I mean, as if I wasn't already on the edge of my seat for What If. Now, I mean, oh my God, you have to watch it. But before we get a chance to watch What If, we have to go through Loki, obviously. So what were your guys' first impressions? All we have is just the one episode that just came out. We got a couple things from it. What did you guys think so far?
I was blown away.
Timekeepers are terrifying. They control the entire world. All I'm gonna say.
It was
amazing.
After watching the first episodes of WandaVision, I was excited, but I wasn't like, I was kind of on the edge of my seat, but I wasn't like, oh my God, I need the rest of these episodes right now. Same thing with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Loki, as soon as I finished, that episode went by so fast. Like, it was a long episode, but it literally like blinked and I was like finished with it. I literally cannot wait for the rest of these episodes. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah, I loved the episode too. I liked WandaVision's opener because I still think that first couple episodes was just so not Marvel. And even though this is exactly what we got in the trailer, so I knew I was getting into with WandaVision, I just didn't know. So I still like the appeal of surprise. But I still love the episode because I was excited to see Owen Wilson in the MCU, and he was fantastic in the episode. So I'm excited to see how they keep going. It's going to be tricky to explain time travel again, like Endgame did. So hopefully they do it in a simple way, because I can see them going into some problems, but I still think the show's fantastic so far.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, a couple of things I noticed in the show, like obviously the idea of like the Timekeepers and that the universe is almost scripted or planned, at least to some certain extent. When they said this was supposed to happen, this was meant to happen,
Yeah.
your death is planned. This has happened 1,000 times before. This is what is supposed to happen. Like for me, I thought that was really cool on one hand, but on another hand, it almost took away a little bit from like the MCU to me. Like, so everything's planned. Like, obviously, I know it's all just movies anyway, but it sucks me out a little bit of the experience, and maybe I'm nitpicking a little too much. But that sort of bothered me a little bit. But regardless, I thought it was an amazing episode, and I mean, by far, in my personal opinion, by far the best moment of this episode was Loki seeing his own death. I thought that I was waiting on the edge of my seat when when he was showing him the flashbacks, showing him different points in his life, and I assumed at the time, he didn't want to show him. Owen Wilson's character didn't want to show Loki his own death. But then when Loki was going through it himself, I knew he was gonna get there, and I was just so excited to see what his reaction to that would have been.
Yeah.
I think just overall phenomenal scene and just a really good episode.
Yeah, I agree. That scene was really, and just the conversation that Mobius and Loki were having was also just really terrific. How Mobius kind of knew where he was going in that direction. But it did feel like 2012 Loki. They could have easily made it feel like the Loki past the Avengers movie, but this is the Loki pulled from the 2012 movie. So it's not, he didn't turn good at all yet. So I thought it was good to see that type of Loki back. The DB Cooper scene was hilarious though, because Owen Wilson was on the edge of his seat. He's like, this is the best part of this moment. It was really funny to watch. But yeah, my only nitpick is that it's going to be 6 episodes, and we saw that with Falcon Winter Soldier how that did not benefit the show, especially with the Flag Smasher storyline. So hopefully nothing feels too rushed about the show. So far not, but I hope, especially when we're going to get Lady Loki here, because that's what they completely set up here at the end of the episode, and that's who I think the Hood is. So Lady Loki will be very exciting now for the show.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to that. I'm right there with you, Max. 6 episodes does not seem like a lot, especially not for a show that I think has so much room for growth and so much room to do so many cool things. I would have loved to see this at least, in the 10 to 12, 13 range, but we'll take what we got here.
Yeah.
I definitely think a credit, you were talking about how this felt exactly like 2012 Loki. I think a credit to that is Tom Hiddleston, just like, oh my God.
Exactly.
Like he just, it was like putting a glove on. I mean, I think there's a very obvious difference between Avengers Infinity War or like Ragnarok Loki and 2012 Loki. I think just it's very obvious. So I can tell them completely apart. And once I saw that version of Loki in this film or in this show, I could instantly tell it was 2012. Like I didn't have to be convinced. I knew it was 2012 Loki. Like even just his mannerisms and just how he walked, like let alone what he said, just like how he walked, how he talked. Like it was just there's something about it. I mean, what an amazing actor.
Definitely. 100% agree.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking seeing him talk about why he hurts people and why he does that. It was very heartbreaking seeing him. That was a really good performance right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the whole first episode, like Jacob said, I was kind of just like on the edge of my seat, especially going through all of those flashbacks, and that was like so intense. Like I could not imagine seeing my life in that much detail. Like we all have memories, of course, but that is like you were seeing it and you know it happened. But it's so weird. It's like watching an old video of yourself. You're like, I can't believe that's really me. And I don't know. It's just I find that like that was really intense for me. That really like just like hit a place in my like self. I was like, whoa, like this is really. So yeah, I don't know. I really like that part.
I also just love the world building, like the Miss Minutes thing was really good, and just Loki seeing the box full of all the different Infinity Stones, I thought was also really great because it shows that basically he isn't untouchable, which has been his whole character. Is that wherever he goes, whatever movie he's in, for the most part, he's untouchable in his opinion. So I think that the fact that the Infinity Stones are worthless, he can't use any of his powers. it really sets him back to ground zero with who he is, and that's why he opened up. So I'm excited to see how he can. Will he still be like the god of mischief as they continue throughout the show, or will he just be like a nice guy the rest of the? I have no idea. It's a good question to ask.
Mhm.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought was I'm still having problems navigating is like on one hand, the kind of timekeepers are incredibly powerful and to the point where
Yeah.
infinity stones are completely meaningless and just like little trinkets. But at the same time, they also I mean they defeated and captured Loki like it was nothing. And then
Mhm.
but on the same at the same time, when we're seeing the scenes of them getting killed and getting kind of like ripped apart, it seems like almost effortlessly they're taken apart. Also, all they have is like the guns, and it was just like I don't know. There's something weird to me about seeing like going from timekeepers that infinity stones mean nothing to like then they just have like energy guns, and I'm just like, what? Like
No,
it.
there's still more to explore. It is the first episode. I
Yeah.
would say to be patient because
Fair.
I think they're gonna keep showing off more stuff. They did the watch thing or whatever, the wristband, where like the time thing where they make people come. Like Loki was trying to run away a couple times and they brought him back.
Mhm.
That was a really cool tool. So I think they're gonna explore more stuff because I think that's the whole point of the show too. Is that it seems like with the multiverse and like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange coming up, the TVA are going to be huge factors in the movies. I think
Yeah,
that's what the show's
definitely.
going to take from it. So I think that they have to establish more of the TVA before we get into those multiverse movies. So I think this is a great first step into that.
Yeah. And also just to comment on Jacob's part, they kind of explain the Infinity Stones versus like the Timekeepers thing, where like the Infinity Stones aren't powerless; they're just powerless like in the TVA, like in that area.
Yep.
I don't know if it's like a world. I don't know if it's like its own. I hope they explain that. I don't like. Are there different timeline versions of the TVA, or is there just what like it? I'm. That's gonna
Ooh.
be. I don't know. It's a whole like rabbit hole I don't want to jump into. But
Yeah.
it's not that the Infinity Stones are worthless. Just in that area, they're worthless. I'm sure if the Infinity Stones were used against the Timekeepers on like Earth, they'd still have like the same like power or whatever. I don't know. It's confusing. We don't know everything yet. We gotta wait. We got 5 more episodes.
Yeah, well, the one guy, when Loki was interacting with him when he was trying to escape or whatever, says, like, he's never been outside of the TVA. Like,
Mhm.
that's,
Yeah.
like, what he's only known. I'm like, oh, like, he was created to be in this, like, dimension or this other world or this, like, I don't know what it is, like, this location. So I'm like, ooh, that's pretty cool. I really want to, like, I hope they expand on that because I'm really curious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Absolutely. Well, I think that we have a lot of questions, and rightly so, as all we've seen is one episode. So I'm definitely looking forward to the next 5 episodes. And, I'll mention again, obviously, this is on Disney Plus, and they're coming out every Wednesday for anybody who's interested. Outside of Loki, though, I do want to go into a couple of our other TV shows. And we talked about it briefly last episode, but I kind of want to conclude it on this episode. So, Lucifer. Obviously, we know that Lucifer, season 5, part 2 came out, the conclusion to season 5, and a lot of crazy stuff happened. We kind of did a non-spoilery review, and this time I kind of want to bring spoilers into it and just go crazy. And I did want to say, after everything that has happened, I think I was a little bit behind in the news, but I recently found out that there will be a season 6 coming to Lucifer. Gabby, I know that you're not too much of a fan of that news.
See, like, I'm a big Lucifer fan. I was so excited for part 2 of season 5, but I thought that that was the finale. So I set myself up to be, like, done. So, like, I set myself up. I was like, okay, this is it, the ending. I just have to
Closure?
suck it up and deal with it, however the ending plays out. And now that I found out there's a season 6, I should be excited, but they ended it, and I feel like that like should be ended. I don't feel like there should be like a season 6. I mean, like, what are they gonna do with it? Like,
Yeah, we got played.
I don't know. I was, yeah,
Like
Yeah.
everything they did, every move they make, every chance they take, we were like, this is the end. And then they like, just kidding. And I don't, yeah, like I agree. Like I don't really know what else they could do. Like now that Lucifer's God, can he travel to other dimensions, kind of like the last God did? Like
What is
what are the
Chloe gonna do?
what's
Like,
yeah, what's Chloe? Does she get like is she God's secretary? Like I don't.
Yeah.
like she's a human. Like she can't last
Yeah.
for like. There's just so many questions. Like I get that we have so many questions. Like, oh, I wonder how he's gonna be as like a god. Okay, great. But those are questions that like we can keep wondering for years as a fan of the show. We can go back and like rewatch it and look at his behavior and kind of determine. You know what I mean? Like we can do that. But if they give us some, then we don't have any room for like wondering. I feel like and. I don't know. I'm obviously gonna watch it, like I said, as a Lucifer
Yeah.
fan, but I don't know how excited I'm going to be. I don't know how.
Like, are they gonna
Like,
ruin it?
I'm going to. I hope not. Like,
Like, can they unmake him God? Like, what do you think the challenges would even be? Because like in the beginning, it was literally just him being like, "Oh, I don't know where my wings are." Like, yeah.
yeah.
Is
I
is
don't
it like
know. They should
is he
have
gonna
either.
solve world hunger? Is he just gonna casually fix the Middle East?
Oh, remember he said that he's gonna make sure hangovers aren't a thing.
Yeah,
Remember
when is
that?
that
Oh
being
my
like
Yeah.
god.
implemented?
Oh my god.
Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of things. Like, they either should have like killed him when he went to go save Chloe, in heaven. They either
Yeah.
should have like done that, like let him die there. Because I was fully expected. I was like, okay, he's not coming back, but he saved Chloe. Like, good. And we all should have known that he was gonna come back. I mean, whatever. They were like, wow, magically he's back. Okay,
The
surprise!
chosen
But
one.
I feel like they should have just either like kept it that way, or like I don't know. I really did like it, but the buildup was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like playing with us. Like,
Yeah, I agree. And a couple things I don't remember, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember them ever addressing Dan being in hell. Like he's in hell and then like do they save him? Is he still in hell?
Yeah,
Well, where's Dan?
shit,
that's
where's
all they
Dan?
mentioned.
I forgot about Dan.
Exactly.
God.
So did the writers.
So I think remember
So
that
did
other guy?
everyone.
I forgot his name, but he was in heaven and he was like, "Oh, I got out of hell." I feel like that was kind of a precursor for Dan's gonna do that same inner work and realize that he's not actually doesn't have to feel guilt and I think he's gonna get himself out of hell. I don't think
What's the
Dan needs
point
to
of
be
putting him
saved.
in hell if he just gets himself
No,
right back out?
actually, Lauren, I think you're right. No,
I
I
think
think Lauren's right because
his character arc throughout the whole
Chloe
thing, like
had
this,
to. No, you're right because Chloe had to admit to herself that she was a good person in order to go to heaven. I think once
Mhm.
Stan is in hell and he realizes that, like you said, I think he realizes he belongs up in heaven once he gets
Yeah.
over that inner turmoil.
And I don't think it's
You're
gonna be like that
right.
easy.
Ooh,
Like
that's really good.
he probably will talk to Lucifer and probably will talk to these other characters so that he can like actually like reflect and see that. It's not just gonna happen overnight. Because it would be too
Yeah.
easy if now that Lucifer's God, he just frees him. Because like that goes against everything Dan's character stands for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are they gonna do is what's her face? I can't think of her name right now.
Main
You know who I'm talking about. Maze, yes, thank you. Maze. I cannot think of her name. Like, is she Queen of Hell now? Like they said she was gonna be?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
what's the
that's
deal with
cool.
that?
Yeah.
So,
Also Michael got his wings cut off by Lucifer. So is he not an angel anymore? If Lucifer is God, does he have that sort of power? What's Michael doing? That is something I'm interested in. Um, and then yeah, we have all these other storylines. I guess Lucifer is God now. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but when Lucifer went up to heaven to bring Chloe back down to Earth, the only reason he didn't die immediately was because he had like the ring of immortality on him, Lilith's ring, and then he took it off and put it on Chloe's
and gave it to
finger.
Chloe.
But he put
Yeah.
it on her engagement ring finger.
Yeah.
So
So
like,
they're married or engaged. Can I go to the wedding?
Right? I want to be there.
Like
oh my
I'll
god.
go. Like
I'll
that
be the
sounds
flower.
fun.
I'll be the flower girl if they need a flower girl.
Oh my god.
Let me know. I'll be there.
Wait, I just realized. Technically, if Lucifer is God and God created humanity, is he now sleeping with a
No.
human and now he's sleeping with his pet?
No.
If
no.
you genetically create something, let's say you made like a mutant mouse that lights up, could you date that?
No.
Well, where in the ethics is that?
Dating a mouse is not in
But
the
you're not
ethics.
directly related to it, you know? Like people marry planes. There's this girl in Germany married a plane.
I did see that. Yeah, but like she's like okay, so now he's God, but the original God was the one who created like
Yeah,
all of life.
he's just
so
like
he's
new God.
like so God is still like God is at the top of the family tree. And then it's Lucifer. So like you know how they have like all the siblings. Okay, great, but now Lucifer has his own like branch while everybody kind of just stays over to this side. You know what I
Technically,
mean?
we're all
So he's
related.
like the secondary God.
Everyone's related. Everyone you're gonna ever get with is related to you if distantly enough.
Oh
So
my
why
God.
don't you focus on that?
I'd rather not. I'd rather not.
All humans are we're all family.
These wonderful ethical debates that Lucifer brings up. Everyone you will ever date is your long distance cousin.
Yes. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I hope you can sleep better at night.
Okay, wait. So imagine. So by the way, the show Lucifer is so funny because he says he's Lucifer. Everyone's like, "Oh, okay, you're the devil." He goes, "No, I'm literally the devil." Nobody believes him. Okay, great. Then they sleep with him, the people who we slept with. So then they have to deal with that they slept with the devil, and now
And
they
now
have to accept the
God.
fact that they slept with God. Like
What's
that's
the win?
like I don't know. I feel like I could get down sleeping with the devil. Like I could get down with that. Okay, whatever, sick. But if I had to sleep with God, that's a different story. That's a
But
little.
it's still named Lucifer.
Yeah, his name is still. Whoa, facts.
Oh my God.
This is just to prove that people can change.
Yeah.
This is why. Not gonna get into it.
Oh my God. I did want to say we do have the full complete list of all the episode titles. So I don't want to go through all of them,
Yes,
but I'll just
read
pick out a
them all
couple.
and then we'll react.
Oh, you want to read? Okay, fine. I'll do that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So there's 10 episodes. All right. So I'll give you each title for all 10, starting 1 to 10. So episode 1 is Nothing Ever Changes Around Here.
I don't know about that.
2 is Buckets of Baggage. 3 is Yabba Dabba Do Me.
Oh God.
4 is Pin the Tail on the Baddie. 5 is 5 is the
Yup.
5 is the murder of Lucifer Morningstar.
Ooh.
So that's something.
He's gonna kill his past self.
Yeah.
Like his character who plays on Earth, he's gonna kill him so that he can be God.
Yep.
Oh my God. Well, we'll see. And 6 is a lot dirtier than that.
How dirty is it?
A lot dirtier than that.
We all need power.
7 is My Best Friend or My Best Fiend. 8 will be Save the Devil, Save the World. Then 9 is Goodbye Lucifer, and 10 is Partners Till the End.
Okay, so maybe Lucifer does die. Maybe God will die.
Then we have to go through the whole battle of who's gonna be God again, even though that was the entire thing of.
Okay, so God in the traditional old age was like this one. He's like basically everyone's dad. But like there's a new age, like there's other different versions of God. Because you're saying that these characters get to evolve. That's the whole thing we learned throughout the show. Everyone evolves, and you kind of self-actualize things. So instead of the traditional version of God, Lucifer will realize once he is God that he's all powerful. Whatever he believes he can do or does or what is will kind of be what is. Just like how he self-actualized like his devil face. So he could be some other type of entity. Maybe he could create multiple of himself. Maybe because you say God is in everyone, like every living being is God in a way. So maybe it'll really get really spiritually and woke at the end. We don't know.
Well, you guys know typically there's a villain to each season, like someone Lucifer is working against, and some early articles have come out and said that season 6 will not feature any overarching villain or nemesis for Lucifer up to go up against. Apparently, it's supposed to be a more intimate season that's character focused. So
Mhm.
I'm definitely looking
Yeah, I
forward to
think
that.
he's going to like go through a bunch of stuff, probably a lot of therapy, you know. He's probably gonna like go
Dylan,
through like some stages of like grief and denial or something about like because it gets a lot of change, you know. I don't know. He'll probably be like, I regret this. Wait, never mind. Da, da, da.
Yeah, typical Lucifer.
yeah, like you said, it's gonna be a lot of like self-reflection. I feel like
It'll
it's
be
gonna
like
come
so
from
it's drama.
Lucifer. Like, I think he'll be his main, like, while there's no overarching villain, I think he'll be his biggest enemy. So
Yeah. Like I think like when you get the new role or new job anywhere, whether you're God or like a dishwashing dude, whatever job you get, you do make mistakes. He's probably gonna fuck some shit up and then have to be like, oh shit, I'm God. What did I do? You know, like he'll be like trying to make a flood to put out a forest fire and then accidentally like kill a bunch of people, like stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
isn't that Mother Nature's job? Though? Just saying.
Mother God.
I know. Why haven't we never met Mother Nature? I feel like that's another
Yeah, let's
thing
have
that they
Gaia
should bring
come
up.
in. Where's she at?
Right?
Because you think Eve would be friends with her?
Yes, I love Eve.
Yeah, even
Even
Maze. So
Maze, my
cute.
favorite. Maze, my bisexual queen.
Oh.
We stand her.
Oh my God. Well, definitely maybe to be answered in season 6. We'll see. We'll see. But I do need to bring my boys Carter and Max back into this podcast. So let's talk about Bad Batch. We got to talk about this. All right. I know you guys have been chomping
Yeah.
at the bit. We didn't get a chance to review episode 6, and now we have
Yeah.
episode 6 and 7, the kind of double
Yeah.
review. I wanna jump right into this because I've been chomping at the bit all day to talk about Bad Batch with somebody, and you
Oh,
two
yes.
guys are my premier people to talk to about it. So
Uber
what did you?
Star Wars fans.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Real Star Wars fans.
True that. But right. So Bad Batch episode 6 and 7, and what were your
Yeah.
guys' thoughts?
I'll go. My favorite character in Clone Wars showed up. Thank God. Captain Rex, who is by far my favorite part of the Clone Wars TV show. So happy he was the mysterious cloaked figure that the Martez sisters were talking to. I think Ahsoka was just too soon. It can't just be Ahsoka popping up in everything. I think Rex is just as important in that last 4 episodes than Ahsoka is. Especially, the storyline makes sense. Why Rex needs to be in this episode, because they're taking out the chips. He had his tip. He understands what it's like when the chip is on and off. And he knows how to take it off. So for me, it made sense. The Wrecker Omega stuff is so adorable, and then it became so devastating when Wrecker was going after Omega last episode. So I'm really enjoying the show. Again, no Crosshair for a long time here, which is getting a little bit
Yup.
annoying. But
Yeah.
I felt like this week we were kind of back on track with finding out a good mission is taking the chips out. Get that out of here, because we can't have that being a lingering effect in the rest of the season. So I'm happy that's done. It seems like they're going to stay on Braca for the next episode, so we'll see.
Yeah, I could definitely it was very nice to see Rex. I probably don't like Rex as much as you do. I don't dislike him. I just he's really cool, but to me, like, all the clones just kind of fall into like the same category. I know. We're not gonna get it. We're not gonna get into it. We're not gonna get into it. I love Rex. I'm just not like huge on him. It was nice to see him though. It was cool seeing him.
Okay.
Mostly, I totally lost my train of thought because I was thinking of defending my words and then just threw that idea out, but then I lost everything that I was about to say. Oh yeah, no, the crosshair thing. Okay. Look, at this point, I just think it is unbelievable that we haven't seen anything of Crosshair since, what, episode 3?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Okay, look, I get that the Bad Batch it just doesn't make sense to me how Crosshair or just anybody wouldn't at least be on their trail by now. Like, I don't get it. I just want to see Crosshair and his like special forces squad just pursuing the Bad Batch. They don't need to actually find them yet. I just want to see, okay, this is what they're doing. They're getting close because we all know it's going to come to that by the end of the season. Like I just want just anything from Crosshair because I think Crosshair is the coolest part of the show so far. But I really like these last 2 episodes. Seeing the Martez twins again was kind of surprising. I guess it
Yeah.
makes more sense, like why Filoni included that arc as opposed to like all the other arcs that were cut from the original season 7 of Clone Wars. Like now it makes more sense, I guess. I think it kind of made me like the Martez sisters more because I don't know, they were definitely less annoying, especially
Yeah.
I don't remember, is Trace the younger one? Trace is the younger sister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely liked Trace more after this episode. I don't know, like I just feel like the decisions they made and their arc in season 7 were just absolutely stupid. Like dumping the spot, come on. But I don't know. I feel like they kind of redeemed themselves in this episode, and I honestly won't mind seeing them again. Like if they pop up in Bad Batch more, totally fine with that. They had great chemistry with Omega. It makes sense. I don't know. And then this week's episode was great. I'm glad the build up to the Wrecker's inhibitor chip was paid off, but not in the sense of Wrecker leaving the Bad Batch and joining the Empire. I liked that it was like this one episode thing, and then like they get rid of the chips. Now we know the Bad Batch is good, and I don't know. I'm really excited for where it's going now.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought it was really fitting that Rafa and Trace got to come back, at least just for the one episode at the very least. And I also thought that it was very fitting that we bring them back from the end of Clone Wars Season 7. And of course, we bring the droids back at the same time, as they were in that facility fighting the droids.
That
It
was a
felt like
great scene.
yeah, absolutely. It felt like a very callback, revisiting episode because obviously,
Definitely.
all that was from the Clone Wars Season 7. I kind of bring it
Mhm.
back. But
Oh,
go ahead.
I do want to bring up something pretty big here. So I knew that this happened during the episode, but I'm not sure. So did you guys play the Fallen Order video game that came out
I'm
like 2
like
years ago?
halfway through it. I'm
Yeah, I beat
halfway
it.
through it.
Okay,
You
so
don't
you
need to
guys
worry
know.
about spoilers because I know what happens.
No, it's not spoilers. So the opening planet of Fallen Order is the planet that we were just on this past episode.
Yeah, I saw
So
about that.
Braca, which I knew right away because I was like, this is definitely. So I wonder how much like Fallen Order stuff, like is Cal Kestis going to show up, this type of stuff, because they could have gone to any other. Like we always think of the video games aren't canon, but they are using a planet that was created for the game. Like I don't think in canon Braca was explored until Fallen Order. So I wonder. And we know that a lot of the Jedi stuff was there based on, it was a junkyard in Fallen Order. So I wonder what they do with that. With it's a really interesting thing that they did this episode with bringing Braca into the show.
I think it would be great to see some Fallen Order crossover. That would be really cool because we've never really seen the video games tie into like the like TV and movie Star Wars content. I don't know about Cal Kestis showing up, and you're gonna have to help me out because I haven't. I played the game like a while ago and I didn't beat it, so I don't remember that much from it in terms of like the enemies. But who were like the special like Imperial troopers with like the staffs or whatever?
The Inquisitors?
Yeah.
No, not the Inquisitor. I mean, it
Right.
would be cool to see Inquisitors, but there was a different enemy. They were like stronger than stormtroopers. They were guards on, I forget what planet you first fight the seventh sister on. Not first. The second time you fight her. I remember specifically in that mission. I don't know. There's just really cool enemies in that game, and I think it'd be cool to see some of them in like
Or the
actual
Purge
Star Wars
Troopers or
content.
whatever.
What's up?
I think they're called like Purge Troopers. If
Yeah,
about
that's what they are. Purge troopers.
But yeah. But also, I just realized too that Fallen Order does take place at the same time period as this, which is right after Order 66.
Yep.
Right. So.
Well, not right after.
Wasn't Cal Kestis a kid? Wasn't he a kid?
Yeah, he was a kid during Order 66.
So yeah, I guess so.
It's a few years after. Probably like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, they might. Maybe they'll meet some people and they'll like introduce them to kid Cal Kestis and they'll see him.
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
But like before
who
he
knows
has
how
done
Cal Kestis got? Yeah, who knows how Cal Kestis got to Braca in the first place? We don't know that.
Exactly.
He was left on it. Yeah, I wonder. They could do that, which would be awesome. I think. I love the game, so I would love to see a connection there.
Definitely.
Same here. But I do think if next episode 8, if we don't get any crosshair stuff, I mean I'm gonna start losing my mind. Like
I think next episode is the perfect time. I feel like it's almost exactly. It's the middle of the series. It's like the climax episode wise. I feel like it would. And I mean, I don't know because I keep saying every week, I'm like, no, but like we didn't get it like the last couple episodes. We gotta get it now. But no, I'm putting my chips all on the table. I'm going all in. I'm saying we're gonna get crosshair action in this episode.
I'll bet a lot of money that is not the last time you see Rex this season. They were clearly like, we're gonna call back Rex. Which is great.
I'm pretty sure there was a shot in the trailer that wasn't in this episode with Rex in it. So like. He's got to show up again.
Jacob, where do you fall on the clone stuff, Jacob? Like, do you love Rex, or you're kind of like
Definitely, definitely. Clones are so cool. I love how
loyal
they are. But like,
and Fives and Echo. I mean,
absolutely. Do you remember the original team? What was their original team called in Clone Wars?
The
Domino Squad. Yeah, with like Heavy and everybody.
Cool.
Oh my god, such a cool
Heavy's
team.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Even the default clones are cool. And then they all have like all the different style helmets and all the different like squads. Dude, come on, like the Republic Commandos. Are you kidding me? The ARC Troopers. Bro, I
agree with you. Clones are definitely cooler.
No, you said they all just blend together. Like, dude.
Okay, no, they don't blend together. I guess I just don't care about. Like, I feel like I care about most clones. No, I
doesn't care about the clones.
I don't.
Get him out
I don't care. I don't care about one clone more than I care about another. Like they're just all cool to me. But it's not Rex is cooler than this one. Like they.
That's why like Fives is awesome because Fives has like the best arc. That like he actually figured out.
No, yeah.
66,
and
then
cool.
That was such a great arc, and then Rex brought it back last season.
Those were some of the best Clone Wars episodes, but
yeah.
And the droid from that arc popped up in Bad Batch too. That was the medical droid that was in the first episode. Same guy, which was a nice little callback.
And also Rex, I did have chills when Rex had his armor on, like the blue. Like I don't know, it takes It was. I know the last season was only like a year ago, but it's just so nostalgic seeing him wear the blue armor. I don't know if you guys felt the same. I don't know. It just
it's cool.
Definitely.
Very neat.
Definitely. Yeah. I just wish. I just want to see Rex in live action, dude. I want to see live action.
It's gonna happen in Ahsoka. It's gonna happen in the Ahsoka show.
Oh my god!
I'd lose my mind, bro. I'd lose my mind.
I feel like it'll have to happen. At least there's like a flashback sequence or something.
It's gonna be tough because they already technically, because in Rebels that was the first time they reunited. And
right, he was old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a gray beard already, so they can't really meet with each other until at least after that again. So I don't know how that's gonna work.
Just get rid of Rebels. That show sucks anyway.
It does not suck.
It doesn't suck. Jacob. Okay, listen, and I don't want to turn this into another Max and Carter versus Jacob tangent, but okay, you have to see it from the perspective of when Clone Wars came out. Like the people who were like 17, 18 years old in Star Wars were like, Clone Wars, it's a kid's show, it sucks, it's so bad. But then like as it went on and like the generation who were like really little watching it, us, like grew up, like Clone Wars got this huge appreciation. Now everybody loved Clone Wars. And now the people who were like teenagers and were like, I don't like this because it's a kid's show, have gone back to watch it. They're like, no, it's actually good. And people like the same thing's gonna happen with Rebels. Give it five-ish more years, same thing's gonna happen with Rebels. Like you are going to go back, you're gonna watch Rebels, and you're gonna love it because it has a lot of good stuff.
Listen, I've watched a decent bit of Rebels, but like, I don't think the animations. I don't think it looks that good. Personally.
It's fine. People had the same complaint about Clone Wars.
Clone Wars is so good, bro. Clone Wars is a masterpiece. It's amazing, bro. I'll die on this hill. I'm an old man. Get off my lawn. All right. Clone Wars is so good, and Rebels. Clone Wars is a 9 out of 10 show, if not 10 out of 10, and Rebels is barely hitting 7 out of 10. All right. It's good. All right. It's fine. But like, you're not gonna be Clone Wars. You never will be. All right. Talking to Rebels.
I'm not saying it's Clone Wars.
There is a
You'll
reason
never be
why,
as good
though,
as
that-
Clone
no, no,
Wars.
there is a reason why the Kanan cameo in episode 1 was as big of a deal as it was. That's all I'm gonna say.
Exactly.
It was a big deal that Caleb showing
Kanan's a
up.
fantastic
The
character.
fact that Caleb was a cameo in Clone Wars last season and in this opening episode of this season shows you how big of a deal that character is to a lot of people. That's what I'll say.
Definitely.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Fair
Kanan
enough.
is in a lot of people's top 5 favorite Star Wars characters of all time too. I know a lot of people
Yeah.
who
Wait,
love
the
Kanan
blind
more
I'm not
guy?
than
gonna go that far.
Are you
Oh
talking
no,
about the?
I'm not.
Are you
Not
talking
me
about the blind?
personally, but I know a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
people really, really, really love Kanan as a character. Like,
Ahsoka's
It's
in
true.
top 5 probably, but not.
I don't
I
like
don't
Ahsoka. She's not my top 5. She's probably top 15.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't
There's
know.
too much. I'm an
There's a
OT
good-
fanboy.
How about that today? We had Carter and me versus you, but then it became Jacob and me versus Carter on the clones.
Oh
It did
my
happen.
Amazing.
It did happen.
Who would
Listen,
know?
we have our moments. We have
I feel
our
like that's
moments.
less of a hot take than a lot of
Yeah, but-
Jacobs, though.
Listen,
yeah.
someone has to supply the hot takes here, and
Oh, Lord.
if you guys don't step up to the plate, it'll be your boy right here.
No,
right.
that's not what it is. That's not what it is. It's ridiculous takes compared to realistic takes, okay?
The Last Jedi is trash.
Oh,
All right.
there we go.
Moving on to our next
Moving on.
topic. No, actually, I know Gabby, you wanted to talk a little bit about High School Musical, right?
High School Musical, the musical series, season 2. Yes, the past 2 episodes, I believe. Yes, we haven't talked about the last 2 episodes because we didn't do it last week. So, this season, I have noticed, is very different compared to the last season. Last season, they literally focused, like, every episode was surrounded around the musical that they were putting on, which was High School Musical. Funny. Anyway, so that was a lot centered, like, last season, and this season is more focused on, like, character development. I feel like everything has been, like around the characters. Like, everyone's focused on Nini. This last episode was Carlos's quinceañera. So like there's just a lot of like not musical happening, but they're talking about the musical. They're putting on Beauty and the Beast this year. And now at the end of this last episode, they mentioned that their rival school has switched to Beauty and the Beast, and they're putting on a much more elaborate production, and they're like competing for this title that they keep talking about. But we haven't seen the play in like any action. We see a couple clips of them like rehearsing, but that's it. Like, it doesn't even look like a musical is happening. So this season is mostly focused on the characters. So like, if you like the show, then that's great. But if you are watching it compared to the first season, it's like completely different. So that's just some of the things I picked up on. But besides that, it's still really good. I feel like it's really slow. There's only a couple episodes left. And this big musical that's supposed to happen, like I said, we haven't seen like anything. So we'll see how it goes. I still watch it every week, of course, because I love it. We have Olivia Rodrigo. She has my heart. But I don't know. It's definitely not like last season, so I think I definitely like season 1 the best. But that's my hot take on it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gab. And with that being said, I did want to talk about, see, I get criticized from everybody on this show that I don't watch enough movies, okay? Jacob doesn't watch enough movies, I don't watch enough shows. All right, you know what? Well, here's that take. I'm going to scrunch it all up here and get that out of here, all right? Because me and Max watched The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. I didn't go to theaters because I'm poor, but I watched it on HBO Max.
I did.
Max did.
Saw
So
twice.
well, there you go. Did you see twice in theaters?
No, I saw it in IMAX opening weekend, and then when after that I rewatched the entire universe. So last night, it was my last night. I watched it on HBO Max.
Okay, yeah.
Second
Well, then you can say what your opinions are: HBO Max versus watching it streaming versus watching it in theaters. We're not gonna go.
I do it.
What'd you
I
say?
do want to give a plot though. I just want to give plot details
Sure.
before we get into our thoughts.
Go ahead.
So this doesn't spoil any of the other movies. So if you're worried about that. So this movie, just like the first 2, is based off of a true case from the Warrens in real life. This kid named Arnie Johnson murdered someone, and he's the first person, this is real history, the first person in American history to plead not guilty due to demonic possession. That was their defense. first time that ever happened in a court in the United States. So that's what the movie, and the Warrens are called in to do their usual investigating to see what caused Arnie to be possessed and see if they can not give him basically the death penalty in court. So that's and Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, they're both back from the previous Conjuring films. I think they're the only ones who actually are back from the other movies. But this is the Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, which is what the case is named.
Right. Yeah, one of my favorite things about The Conjuring is the taking it from, real life, and I love the idea that these two characters like Ed and Lorraine are actually real people, and some of their movies are, based off of real life events, especially this. That's one of the most interesting things about the Conjuring universe to me. I was incredibly excited to watch this movie, and I do have to say, as a standard non-spoilery review, I thought the movie was good. I enjoyed it. But The Conjuring 1 and 2, to me, are masterpieces. Just absolutely phenomenal movies. And I thought this was like, good, whatever. It's fine. Like, I'm glad I watched it. I enjoyed the experience. But to me, it's a little bit disappointing, seeing as though The Conjuring 1 and 2 were so high on my list, and this is just average, just slightly above average. So to me,
I think
that was a little depressing.
A big deal is that obviously James Wan did not direct this movie. It's the first main Conjuring movie he didn't direct. And now this is also very different from the first two movies. The first two movies are very haunted house type movies where it really is about the victims and the house, and the Warrens are the ones coming in. They're not the main characters, I would say. But this movie is different. We're going around to so many different locations. And the Warrens are clearly the main characters of the movie. Now, obviously, that's what I like about the first two movies is that you care about the victims a lot, and you also love the Warrens. And I've said this on record, and I haven't said it on here. The Warrens, Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga, they're just the two of my favorite horror characters of all time. So anytime they're on screen for me, it's watchable. You know what I mean? Like I could watch the Warrens be on screen all day. And that's why I like the movie personally, is because they're the main characters. Their love is so authentic. They feel like real people, not, actors playing the real life people. They feel like real people. But I think the villain was pretty disappointing in my opinion. That's kind of my main issue, is that the way they explain why the villain is doing the things that she is doing, cursing people, it just didn't really make a lot of sense. And her connection to her father also didn't really make a lot of sense as well. I don't know. I just feel like the villain was a bit of a disappointment, and I don't think the film was as scary too as the first two. I thought the first scene was great. The opening scene of the movie where it's an exorcism of this 8-year-old kid, I like that scene a lot. But that's as scary as the movie gets. So, like the nun in The Conjuring 2 was so scary. Especially when the nun's running at Lorraine holding the picture of the nun, that scene is awesome, right? And then you have Annabelle in the first movie, so they don't really have a character like that that's gonna scare people, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm 100% in agreement with you. The main, very obvious lack of a villain and the scariness, the horror of this film takes a major backseat to plot. I felt like I was. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but when the villain is bad and has really no clear motivation, it's hard to think the plot is that good. You can't really invest into a plot when it's not very fleshed out to me. So
I did
those
care
are my
about the
main
characters.
issues.
I think the acting is so good in the movie, especially even Arnie Johnson and his girlfriend are also really good in the movie. It's just I was disappointed in how not scary it was. I wasn't as intense as it was in the first two, but also I heard some people complaining that they wanted to see more court scenes because this is a real case, or you know what I mean. I heard people, and that's just if you want to see a court case, the Conjuring universe is just not that movie. It knows it's not. There's 2 court scenes and they're 30 seconds long. I know people wanted more stuff about the realism of how the demonic possession was being talked about in court. I didn't really care about that because I'm seeing a Conjuring movie, not a true, you know what I mean? So I personally didn't think that was a criticism, but I see why people think that.
Yeah, to me, I can only have that as a criticism if you're working off the assumption that, like, hey, if we're gonna make this movie a lot less horror, a lot less scary, then put some court case scenes in it. Like, let's give some of this. Like, if balance it out here. But regardless, I think your point is still valid. That there was a couple issues that this film needed to improve on. Overall, great acting, great character development, as per usual in the Conjuring
Yeah.
universe. I think is the only real redeeming factor of this movie.
You can tell James Wan did not direct it. That's just a big issue with the movie. The director of this movie did Curse of La Llorona, which I don't like a lot at all. So I don't know why he was handed the reins to do the next Conjuring movie. That's just me. I don't think he was the right person. But still, I still think it's a good movie. I still think it's the third best movie in the universe. I don't think it's touching one or two, but for people to say it's a bad movie or anything, I disagree with. It's when you have the Warrens on screen doing stuff, it's a good movie in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, Max, you did want to do a quick review for In the Heights.
Yeah, gotta talk about this movie because I've never been so disappointed in a box office number in all my life this week. Because the movie was not even first place this week at the box office. It only made $11.4 million this week, and it was projected to make well over 20. So this was a huge misfire. And people are blaming HBO Max. It's not, because Conjuring made, I think, $25 million opening weekend. And In the Heights has more build to it. In the Heights is certified fresh, 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. If people are saying it's the movie of the summer. I love this movie. I think everyone should see the movie. Support the filmmakers because it's an all Hispanic-led Latino cast. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda's first play. So this is before Hamilton. But this is not like Hamilton. It's not a play that they just filmed. This is a movie. And I love the movie a lot. I think it's really emotional. You care about all the characters. The songs are really fun in the movie. They're not as catchy as Hamilton, but they're still really. I've been listening to the soundtrack for the past couple of days. It's really, really good. It's very authentic to Latino culture. The movie kind of just takes place in this one neighborhood in New York, and it's really emotional. I couldn't believe how emotionally invested I was in everyone. And you have to see in the big screen. I know a lot of people I saw in the theater dancing when I was watching the movie, so you just gotta. It's an in-theater movie, so it's a shame that it didn't make that much money at the box office. But if you like Lin-Manuel Miranda, if you like musicals, you have to check it out. But if you just want to see a fun, and again, all the characters are good people, so there's no villain in the movie. It's all about good people dreaming. So I think everyone should watch the movie a lot. I gotta promote it because didn't seem like enough people saw it this weekend, so everyone check out In the Heights for sure.
Absolutely.
And it's available on HBO Max right now, and it's in theaters. So whatever you do to support the movie. Yeah.
Awesome.
So whatever you do to support the people. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that you did a great job outlining it, and I think another thing to go, just to work with your review is obviously it's a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, as you said.
Yeah.
Which is an incredibly high review, and I don't think Rotten Tomatoes is gospel, but I do think they have some, sort of valuable input, and if it's that high, I really don't think they get it wrong too often.
Yeah, it's my third favorite movie of the year so far. It's in my top 3. So I did really. I'm not a musical guy at all. So I was really into the movie. So again, definitely check it out. I think I think a lot of people in Hollywood and like the film Twitter or whatever, we keep asking for diverse films and diverse filmmakers. And if you're not going to support these movies, then stop asking for the movies. You know what I mean? So if you want these films to be all Latino and all his, that type of stuff, and it does work, you got to support the people behind the movie, and that's showing up at the box office. So you got to do that.
Right. Well, you said it was your third favorite movie of the year. I'm curious, what's 2 and 1?
My number 1 is A Quiet Place Part 2, and my number 2 is The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Wow.
Just because I found it more relatable. I think it's tough for me to relate to the characters in the film, which is not a bad thing. I did find myself relating a lot, but I found myself relating more to those 2 movies more. But still, I did love the movie. I gave them the same 4.5 out of 5.
Mitchell versus the Machines was really good. I feel like that didn't get talked about enough.
No, it should. It's really good.
It's another one of those movies where,
I'm
like, if it wasn't animated, people would have lost their
Yeah.
minds. Like, people really need to turn around and just watch these freaking animated movies.
From the guy who
Oh
didn't
my
watch
God.
Invincible.
Oh, it's not because it's not. It's because it's animated. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's animated.
I know,
He
I'm
did
just
see
messing with
MODOK. He
you.
did see MODOK though. He did
I,
watch
yeah,
MODOK.
exactly. I watched. That's very niche.
Very niche, and
Yeah,
no one's
I
talking
can't
about that.
talk.
Yeah, nobody's talking about MODOK. Unfortunately, probably not going to get picked up for a second season.
No, because no one's talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest
It
in
takes a
peace,
lot to
MODOK.
make. I think it's like stop animation too, so it takes
Mhm.
years to make that.
Yeah.
And if which makes the first season worse because they set up. Literally, it's just set up for season.
Yeah,
2.
exactly. Unfortunate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you
MODOK
guys see In the
Mafia
Heights,
podcast.
if any of you guys see In the Heights, we should definitely talk about it again because I like to talk about it in a conversation.
I will. I'm planning on seeing it this week with my friend in theaters, so
Yeah,
next week we'll talk about it.
Absolutely.
nice.
Definitely. And another thing, I do want to just power through a couple little small topics and see what you guys, if you have any opinions on them. So we talked about this a little off air, but I do want to mention that we had a little bit of Black Panther 2 news. So obviously, since Chadwick Boseman has passed, obviously they're not gonna have him in this film at all. I assume they're not gonna try to do anything where they try to CGI anything or like do anything like that. I hope not. But it's going to be called Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and it's going to have currently its release date is set for July 8th, 2022. So it's about a month from now, a year and a month from now. So definitely looking forward to that. One of the big things about Black Panther 2 is going to be that they announced that Namor the Submariner is going to be in it. And if you guys aren't familiar with who that is, he's a comic book character, and he's basically
Yeah.
Marvel's version of Aquaman. Like
They
literally a
casted
copy.
him already. They cast him already, right?
They
already
speculated a
cast it.
cast. I don't think it's officially cast, but there's speculation that it's, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name.
Yeah.
Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna see if I recognize him in anything else. I don't recognize the actor, and I don't want to
Yeah.
mispronounce his name. But there was a rumored casting, but I don't believe anything is set in stone yet. So I think we do have to wait a little bit longer until we get official news
Okay.
on that. But
Okay.
definitely interesting to see, what Black Panther 2 is going to be like. Coming out a year from now, I'm really interested to see, what the movie's going to be like and how they're going to handle the loss of Chadwick Boseman and what they're going to do and how they're going to explain that, if they are going to at all, what's going to happen. I guess that's all to be determined.
Only thing I'll say is that in Ryan Coogler, I trust because
Yeah,
whenever he touches
exactly.
something, it's good, and he is back doing the movie. So
Yeah.
until he makes a bad movie, I'm gonna keep trusting whatever he does.
Right.
They'll find a way. There's no way Marvel's gonna slip this up. They will find a way, and it will be good.
Yep. And then small little news, we got Aquaman 2 is going to be called Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. James Wan is returning again for this for Aquaman 2 as he directed the first one as well. It's looking like it's going to be December 16th, 2022. So a little bit of a ways off, about a year and a half from now.
Year and a half.
Yep. So far, it looks like Amber Heard is set to, reprise her role as Mira in this film, and it looks like Black Manta is likely to be the main villain this time. So hopefully we can expand more on the little bit of Black Manta that we got before.
The best.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
Love
we'll
Black
see about
Manta.
Amber Heard. Nothing seems to be set in stone, but it looks.
I can't believe nothing's happened from that. We don't need to talk about that.
It's
but
like
I still
Ezra Miller, but it's like Ezra Miller too.
Yeah, that is true.
Ezra Miller literally chokes a woman on camera.
Yeah.
So she's still getting in the movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, at this point, Warner Brothers is a mess with the DC stuff.
I wanted to say something, but I don't want to get into it. It's just not the
And
time
also,
or the
Amber Heard
place.
isn't good anyway, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like she isn't good in the movie anyway. Like, I'm not saying it because she's a bad person or anything. Like, watching her, especially in the Snyder Cut, I was like, she is awful in the Snyder Cut. I couldn't believe how bad she was in Snyder Cut. She was worse in that than she was in Aquaman, I thought.
No.
When's the next DCEU movie? Has it been announced?
Is it Flash?
I think it's Flash. We just got the teaser of the new logo and suit today. I think it's Flash
Yeah.
because that one's shooting like currently. So I
Yeah.
think it's the only DC movie that is being shot or already shot. So yeah,
It's
I'm pretty
coming
sure it would be
out-
the
No,
next one.
Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad.
Oh
Comes
my
out in
god,
August.
how did I forget about Suicide Squad? I'm so excited
I
for that movie.
forgot!
Yeah.
Yeah, right. The Suicide Squad has an August 6th
August.
release date.
In Gun
August.
We
2 months.
Trust.
Yeah. 2
Guys,
months
I'm
away.
very excited for
so
this
excited
movie.
for that. I'm excited for the soundtrack because the first soundtrack for the first Suicide Squad,
No.
amazing.
No.
We had
No,
so
yeah.
many
The
on
first
pilot.
no, yeah. The first Suicide Squad had the same problem as
Yes.
Cruella, where it was just song
Yes.
overload.
Yes.
It's just
Yeah.
song after song after song after song, and it just gets to the point where like it literally it happened with Suicide Squad and Cruella, where it just pulled me right out of the movie. Like and yeah, no, yeah, right, yeah, and
I
don't take
literally
it the
told
wrong.
Gabby this last week. I
Yeah.
literally told Gabby this 2 weeks ago in our review of Cruella.
And don't take it the wrong way either, because I absolutely hate Suicide Squad and I really enjoy Cruella, but they just have the same
So did I.
problem where it's just way too many songs.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like it because I'm such a music person. Like that to me made me so happy listening to all of like the songs from it. I still listen to some of those like songs, like especially Heathens from 21 Pilots, like to this day. Like, I'm not kidding. So I'm just like when I said I'm excited for the new soundtrack, like I want them to bring in some more artists that I listen to. So that's why I'm excited for that. But I'm also excited to see because the first Suicide movie sucked. So,
Yeah.
not Suicide
At least we all agree on that.
movie.
Oh my god.
So I'm excited.
You
Yeah.
you guys might agree on that, but Yulia says stop the Suicide
Oh no,
Squad hate,"
I was
in
just
all
about to say, I
caps.
was like, if Yulia's watching this right now, she's gonna freak out because she hates
Hey,
Suicide Squad.
Harley Quinn's great in that movie. Harley Quinn's great in that movie, and Will
I'd say
Smith's
she's
good in that movie.
great in the movie.
Yeah,
No,
she is.
I
She's
mean,
really good.
I don't know. Well, no, just while we're on the subject, and this has literally nothing to do with the podcast, but I just want to say, Yulia thinks that Suicide Squad is better than Birds of Prey, which I disagree with very much. I don't think Birds of Prey is great, but it's better than Suicide Squad. It's a lot more watchable than Suicide Squad.
Birds of Prey! Again, the soundtrack from Birds of Prey.
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor is good in the movie. He's great in that
Mask
movie.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Black Mask is great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's great in that movie. That's what I'm saying. It's not amazing, but it's definitely better than Suicide Squad.
Definitely. Definitely.
Oh, Jacob, sorry. Before we go, I just want to ask you about the Conjuring really quick.
Mhm.
So they currently only have the Nun 2 sequel, and they've been sitting on the Crooked Man movie for years now. Do you think it feels like do you think the franchise is running on fumes, or do you think I don't know, I'm very conflicted because I've been watching it for the past week, obviously, in a row, and it was so good for a while, and then you had the Nun, Curse of La Llorona, Annabelle Comes Home. You're like, Jesus Christ, and they make a good movie. You know what I mean?
Okay, my personal opinion is Conjuring 1 and 2 masterpieces. Conjuring 3, okay, we'll put Conjuring 3, table that for a second. All the other spin-off movies, I think, are either terrible or meh.
No, Annabelle Creation's pretty good. Annabelle Creation's pretty good. I like Annabelle Creation. I'll defend that movie.
Yeah, I won't.
It's a good movie.
Here's another rabbit hole.
But I don't want to go. Maybe I'll rewatch. I don't want to go too deep into it. Wait, was Annabelle Creation? Was that the one where they went into the 50s or whatever, or
No, well,
the 20s,
it's the prequel
whatever?
to the first Annabelle. No, the earliest movie I think is Nun. It's where they go to the 50s. The Nun is in the 50s.
No, but what's the one Annabelle movie where it's the person who owns Annabelle is but it's so old. It's it feels like I was watching the first episode of WandaVision. It was that time period. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Dude,
there was one of those movies. I'm thinking of something.
It's the Nun. It's the Nun.
Okay. Well, regardless, I thought all the spin-off movies to The Conjuring were either really, really bad or okay. I didn't think any of them were nearly as good as Conjuring 1 and 2. So then when Conjuring 3 came out, I'm like, all right, finally I can be done with all the spin-off movies. I'll watch Conjuring 3. And since that has been a little bit underwhelming for me personally, I'm almost just done with the universe. I'm ready, just wrap it up. I love Ed and Lorraine, but if it's gonna be like this, bring James Wan back or just shut it down for me.
I agree. I'm with you on that. If James Wan is done, I'm done. He has to direct the next. If there's gonna be a Conjuring 4, a main Conjuring movie with the Warrens back for a fourth one, Wan would have to direct to buy me that it's gonna be a good movie. He has to. he has to direct it because this director is not a good director. He did La Llorona in this movie. But I just wanted your thoughts because no one's talking about more Conjuring movies for the first time in years. I think.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Well, I know we're a little bit up against our time, so I do just want to conclude with a couple things. So I wanted to quickly say that we got a trailer for Masters of the Universe Revelations. That's a He-Man kind of story. If you watched He-Man when you were a kid, like I did on TV, or you've ever heard of it.
Smith, right?
What's up?
That's Kevin Smith. That's Kevin Smith, right? Did Kevin Smith? Isn't he a part of that product? Is he not? Is he like a writer or something on that production?
I'm not. I think
It
you're
seems
right.
like
I'm not
something he would
100%.
do.
I think you're right. I
Yeah.
believe so. I believe he is right. Yeah, I believe he is one of the head guys for that. But
Yeah.
but we got a trailer for it. So it's called Masters of the Universe Revelations. Um,
Uh-huh.
so one of the biggest things I saw is that Mark Hamill will be playing Skeletor. And if you're not familiar with the show, Skeletor is like a huge guy, a huge character in He-Man. You know, obviously you have He-Man as the protagonist, and then Skeletor as the antagonist. So the fact that Mark Hamill's playing him and the show is going to be on Netflix, I think is a huge deal. It's going to be releasing in 2 parts, similar to how Lucifer season 5 did. So part 1 is coming July 23rd, and it'll be 5 episodes all at once. And then I assume part 2, it hasn't been announced the release date for it, but I assume it'll be another 5 episodes. And since it's on Netflix, they drew all their episodes at once. So definitely a show to keep track of. We have a lot of stuff coming out. So in June, well, obviously this upcoming week on Wednesday, we're gonna have Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard coming out, along with Luca coming out as well.
Friday.
Yep. Luca's gonna be coming out. And then, of course, in July we have Black Widow. What's up?
Skipping over Fast and Furious coming out in a week from Friday. What are you talking about? Come on.
Yeah, there's a reason why I'm skipping over it.
Hey,
Everybody pirated it last month when it released overseas.
Yeah.
Also,
Too easy to find online.
Boo, Fast and Furious, boo.
Oh wow.
Bland.
Wow.
Like a bland pasta dinner. Ugh.
Well, I'll be talking about it.
Well,
if I'm the only one who's watching it, I'll talk about it.
Left turn. All right.
We're
just
rambling.
casual NASCAR hate, but okay. So June we do have Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, Luca, and Fast and Furious. And then July 9th we got Black Widow. July 16th we got Space Jam. July 23rd I just said we have Masters of the Universe, and then I forget exactly what date it is, but sometime in July we're gonna get Gossip Girl. So me and Gabby will be taking over this podcast. Absolutely. But so we got plenty of stuff to talk about. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up the episode here. So thank you guys for watching. This has been a great episode so far. We have so much to talk about. And you know what? I am in such anticipation to see everything that's going to come out. I can't wait to see all these shows are going to come out. Of course, I can't wait till Gossip Girl comes out. But with that being said, we're going to have to wait till next week to give all the rest of these reviews and all the rest of these shows coming out. All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.